Coming up on Lakefront News, a sudden death shocks the campus. Plus, how to keep your heart healthy this heart month. Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Lakefront News. Thanks for spending your day with Dalen. I'm Dalen Mann. We begin this evening with somber news. It is with heavy hearts that we report the passing of OLLU faculty member Michael Thompson. Thompson passed away on February 12th at just 49 years old. Michael was a part of the News and Sports Information Department, filming every sport for the OLLU live streams. He was cherished part of the OLLU faculty family and was known for brightening up the gym with excitement and school spirit. February 14th, OLLU students and faculty packed into the chapel to honor and respect Michael's memory. Friends and athletes recounted lovely memories of Michael and gave thoughtful prayers for his family. Michael leaves behind a young daughter, as well as a mother, a stepfather, and lots of friends. Michael was a treasure to all of us, as he was always there to film and support our sports teams. He was a light in our OLLU community, and he will truly be missed. The leading causes of death among Texans are heart disease and stroke. According to Texas Health and Human Services, they are the #1 silent killers. Lakefront reporter Selenia Aguilar reports with tips on how to stay heart healthy this heart month.
According to the CDC, heart disease costs the U.S. $2 billion a year. The American Heart Association says keeping our hearts pumping with at least 150 minutes a week of exercise is important to maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Kathy Guzman, a nurse at Catholic Charities, says to keep your heart healthy and to keep you living longer, exercise, watch your diet, and quit smoking are essential to keep up a healthy lifestyle.
Going to be a big important factor in this. So, there's some stress that we cannot avoid, right? There's limits of stress, but it's how do we react to the stress? What can we, how can we minimize stress?
The Centers for Disease and Control says that heart health is the leading cause of death in men. Pablo Trevino, a student at Our Lady of the Lake, says diet is more important than exercise.
Everything's about working out, but I think it's about all what you eat. You could be the most active person, and I'll tell you this by experience, and it all goes back to what you eat.
Heart Month runs through the end of February. For tips on heart health and ways to stay fit, please visit heart.org.
The latest COVID-19 surge of the Omicron variant has forced colleges across the country to consider remote learning. Our Lady of the Lake University also began their spring semester remotely, and students have recently returned to campus. To get student reactions, we'll turn to the Lakefront reporter Roger Duran.
Students I spoke to are happy to be back on campus, but are struggling with school during a pandemic. I spoke to a university counselor for some helpful tips for self-care.
One of the issues is adjusting to a new normal. There's issues with finances, which is always an issue, but the pandemic just made it even another issue that needs to be addressed, even on a wider scale. People adjusting to coming back when they've been online for so long, and also just the unknown of, are they going to stay on campus, or are they going to have to go back to online learning? So there's a lot of anxiety and that exists with the college students coming back.
Our Lady of the Lake Junior, Cecilia Guerrero, says she's happy to be back on campus after the spring semester started online due to COVID concerns.
I think that was a smart decision, had to be made. I'm pretty sure everyone else would rather be in person, but just for the safety of the students and the faculty, it's understandable.
OLLU counselor Valessa Agosto says being back on campus does come with some challenges and encourages students to focus on self-care.
So some ways you can take care of yourself and engage in self-care is just engaging in habits that help create balance, right? And engaging in activities you enjoy. So not just only doing schoolwork, making sure that you're connecting with others, making sure you're eating right, your exercise, you're sleeping. What else? Making sure that you take a break from social media every once in a while, because social media can increase depression and anxiety, right? If that's all you're doing. So maybe at times taking a break from the social media. Make sure you're avoiding self-medicating, right? Making sure that you're maintaining a balance, creating habits that maintain balance.
OLLU freshman Aiden Wollinger says he has different ways to bring joy into his life.
Talking with friends and family, going outside, getting some sun, sleep, and then just doing the things that I like, playing video games, hanging out with friends, playing basketball, just all the above, yeah.
To keep you and others safe, you can order your free take-home COVID test at covidtest.gov. I'm Roger Duran, reporting for Lakefront News.
With COVID causing people to stay indoors, the comic book industry has seen a rise in comic book sales. However, there's one issue that has some collectors upset. Lakefront reporter Daniel Ortiz explains.
That's right. Variant covers, what are they, you might ask? It's the same comic sold, just with a different cover. A marketing strategy that has some customers upset. Although most businesses have been hurt by COVID, some in the comic book industry have seen an increase in sales. During the beginning of COVID, sales for the year reached $1.2 billion. A big part in that are variant covers.
I found that because people are being more careful about going out, they're reading more. They're cleaning out their closets and they're finding stuff that they remember from when they were kids. And now they want to finish their collections or get back into collecting. So honestly, COVID did have a big slump when we were shut down, but since then, it's actually, as far as we're seeing, has caused an uptick in people's interest in comics because, we're bored.
But I ended up reading a bunch of the older stuff. Went back and looked at the digital stuff, collections, ended up reading the older stuff, which I never would have done if, without the pandemic hit and books would have been coming out. So I went back and caught up.
Variant covers have been around for decades. Recently, they started to be sought after even more. During COVID, publishers have produced even more, which seems to upset customers.
Some of them are okay, but when you have 17 different covers for one book, that's a little bit too much. And especially when then you come back later and you say, oh, there's a paper shortage. Well, then don't print 17 different versions of the same book.
The big one who's probably the worst about it is Marvel. Marvel will usually have 2 covers for most titles, a bare minimum. And then let's say a number 1 comes out or something big is happening in the title, we hit a milestone like 25, 50. They'll do like 9 covers.
Because variants can be pricey, here are some recommendations if you do decide to buy some.
If you're collecting and you like the artist, it's always going to be worth it. But if you're a speculator and you just want to flip a book because you say, oh, this is a hot artist, this is a hot character, I buy this for $20, I can sell it for 40. You're always going to lose money. And you got to sell it within hours of getting it, otherwise you're not going to make it's a losing game.
If you want to collect variants, my personal thing is collect for a character you love and an artist you love. If you don't have both of those things going for it, I don't know why you're collecting it.
Although variant comic covers are creating controversy, it seems there are no plans to stop. Reporting for Lakefront News, this is Daniel Ortiz.
Well, this has been your Lakefront News. Thank you for joining me and continuing to get your scoops all day, every day from Dalen Man. Bye.